Let's see what's next. This video highlight is brought to you by our Wall of Famers who make it possible for me to carve time out of my very busy real life schedule and do what it is that I love to do. Be with you. Thank you. Okay. My friend ERAD posted me on X. He tagged me and he said, hey, man, you got to check this out. Everything wrong with Star Citizen 2025. And I was like, okay, all right, cool. Let's see. Everything wrong with Star Citizen in 2025.
Clan Imperial Games, the studio behind Star Citizen, has declared 2025 the year of playability for the project. The goal is to reinforce the core systems laid down in recent years, most notably the long-awaited server meshing, so they can eventually open the floodgates to the content that's been promised for so long. However, a growing number of backers are expressing frustration and disappointment. This discontentment is increasingly visible on Spectrum and more personally in the comment section of my recent videos. And to be honest, many of these concerns aren't without merit. So today,
but like, man, so much has come out within the past year and a half. Star Citizen is literally a different game than it was over a year and a half ago. And I would argue that it is much more playable than it was in the past. And people that don't forget, the people forget so easily how many 30Ks you went through. How many times you just completely got disconnected from the game. How many times frame rates were much more ridiculous than they currently are. All the many more bugs than there are right now. Okay, so I mean, like, all right, let's keep listening. I mean, it's just like people forget how far we've come for everything. For Hathor, for Stormbreaker, Pyro. Introduction of Pyro, just like a brand new system, the wormhole, like all these new elements, and people are like, it's always going to be stability though. I pound the table, you know, for people that get upset when I talk like this. My biggest critique of the game is stability. I've been pounding the table on stability since 2017, so I don't want to hear this shit like I'm not critiquing the game. Of course I am. I'm critiquing the game at its most important point, the stability part. Server meshing, server tech. It's always been number one for me. I've been screaming it since 2017.
let's take a closer look at these.
And the thing is, it's not done yet. Right. Exactly, Jiro. It's still not done. Aether says, right on, DG, people are doing a lot of history writing. Yeah. Like, it's like, come on. Like, I feel like people that are crying so hard about this are really just being egged on a lot by Star Citizen content creators that are pushing out a really terrible take. Like for monetizing people. There's so much of it out there. It's rampant. It's crazy.
Grievances and explore what Clan Imperial Games could realistically do to address them. One of the most common grievances I've come across lately is that the game feels boring. For many, what Clan Imperial Games calls...
Thank you so much, Jiro, aka Purely Virtual, who's a super mod here, who's helped since the very beginning. Thank you so much. That's my soul, bro. He's been around as long as Damon, as long as DY, as long as Betty. He's the OG of OG. Thank you so much for that, bro. Thank you.
The year of stability is starting to feel more like the year of boredom. And while I personally still enjoy my time in Star Citizen, I can understand where that sentiment comes from, because I feel it too, particularly when it comes to the game's overall progression. One of the most exciting aspects of following Star Citizen has always been watching it evolve, seeing new features get added to the persistent universe, and witnessing the long-term vision for Star Citizen version 1.0 slowly come together. But this year, that sense of momentum just isn't there.
See, this is I love ERAD. I truly love ERAD. He was down. He's always been down for me. He's always had my back. I always have his back. He was there when my mother got sick. He was asking me how everything's going when I was in Cleveland Clinic every single day. And the thing is, with ERAD and I, we do disagree. and we're still friends. I think that shows signs of being an adult. And ERAD knows this. Like ERAD and I, when we disagree about things, we get hot and heavy when we like disagree on shit. It's actually quite entertaining when him and I disagree. We very rarely disagree, by the way. I would say like when it comes to our content and our perspective on Star Citizen, ERAD and I are pretty much aligned. Like 90% of the time, ERAD and I are on the same page when it comes to PvP, when it comes to the development of the game, when it comes to the PvE and the grinding. We're pretty on cue. What's up, Marin? Oh, Marino. What's up, Marino? Thanks, man. Welcome. New algorithm here. I always love when people, thanks for pushing that follow button. So we're 90% of the time we're seeing each other eye to eye. But that 10% of the time when we don't agree, whoo, fireworks, man. And I love it. I love when him and I disagree. It's really good entertainment.
Apart from the introduction of dynamic rain, we haven't seen any major feature additions. None of the long promised mechanics, dynamic scanning, engineering, fire propagation, or actor status V2 have made it into the game so far.
I mean, okay. I mean, you understand. I mean, like, look at where we're at here. Look. We've got like an atmosphere. We're flying through fucking clouds. And I get it. Trust me. I understand. But it's like, come on here. Come on.
It's been a rather lackluster year in terms of innovation, to say the least. Yes, we've had some dynamic events and sandbox activities, but they often feel more like temporary theme park attractions than meaningful integrated gameplay loops.
Okay.
They tend to either lack a clear sense of purpose or push players into gameplay styles that they are not necessarily interested in.
Okay, that's somewhat valid. Here's the thing. Here's what I would say about that. You have to realize that what Cloud Imperium is doing is trying to bring in fresh blood, right? They have brought in as much revenue as they think that they can from just the average gamer base. The whales will always spend, but they have to continually bring in fresh blood. So what is the way to bring in fresh blood when the majority of gamers out there are PvEers? Well, guess what? It's creating these theme park style kind of things like Hey Thor, right? Like Stormbreaker. They're seeding these events in to be content forever. Like, that's what I think people aren't getting. Like, these aren't just around for a little bit. These will be on the planets forever. So that every time a new player comes in, whether it's today, tomorrow, next week, next year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, Stormbreaker will be there. THUR will be there. And they're just seeding it. They're seeding all these locations for things to do so that when people are going around, there's tons of shit to do. So people can't bitch about there not being anything to do. And at the same time, two birds, one stone. What else are they doing? They're bringing in new fresh blood, new revenue. They're creating a way to bring in more revenue for ship sales. And it's a brilliant strategy. Okay, so it might not be your style of gameplay, but I can guarantee you it's somebody else's style of gameplay. That's why they came in here and spent $50. And guess what? That person that dropped that $50 might drop another $500 over the span of the time that they've continued to play. Right. So like, you got to think about this in the business world. You got to think about this in the real world. What are they doing? They're creating in revenue growth. They're trying to bring in new ideas and new ways to bring. And by the way, this has really never been done before on this scale. Not as successfully as this. We're nearing $1 billion mark, for God's sake. That looks like they're going to have another gangbusters year. Okay. Okay. All right.
And that brings us to the next major issue, the ongoing imbalance between PvP and PvE content. Of course, we all know that in the end, Star Citizen is a PvA game, player versus all. In theory, as you play the game, you should be able to encounter both players and NPCs, and ideally, they should be indistinguishable from one another. This is why player names have been removed, and we now only see ship identification numbers before scanning. That being said, there are various types of players who enjoy Star Citizen, and they play it in very different ways. PvE players, players versus environment, enjoy tackling the challenges posed by the game world. These would be your miners, explorers, traders, or even players grinding Foxwell or bunker missions. These players aren't necessarily interested in fighting other players, they simply want to do their own thing, possibly cooperating with others if the opportunity arises. Then there are the PvPers, player versus player, your pirates, player bounty hunters, and of course the occasional murder hobo or griefer. These players believe that if you are in the verse, you are a valid target because the game allows for it. They enjoy the challenge of beating other players, sometimes through fair and organized combat, and sometimes just for their own entertainment, often at the expense of those.
Yeah, I mean, no offense against ERAD, and I know he won't take any offense when I say this because this is just a general comment here. I am so fucking sick of the PvE, PvP delineation argument. I am so tired of people getting into these PvE, PvP fights. You know, the really best MMOs out there always find a way through game design to make sure people understand what areas are PvP and what areas are PvE and what areas in the middle where it's PvE and PvP. They will make sure that people understand it. And there are games out there that do this successfully so. EVE Online being one of those games. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's one of the best examples that I can give. And it's the same way that it's going to be for this game, but it is not there yet. I had to laugh and chuckle when I saw Aether talk about gross mismanagement. There was a video where there was a whale talking about a response from Salty Mike and Gem Reviews and people that watched his initial videos saying that the whale was making an explanation of why you should take a step back and look at the macro and look at the project and look at what is going on, and that it is successful and that there is progression happening. And the reply from Salty Mike or Gem Reviews, one or the other, I'm not quite sure which one, but he had mentioned a statement from one of them that said that there was gross mismanagement. I don't think so. There's maybe mismanagement within the teams and the communication within teams. Yeah, there's probably some mismanagement happening at that level. But in terms of a business, it's managing to do very well. You know, we're nearing the $1 billion mark. Okay, they're successful. This is successful, everyone. For people that think it's not successful and that there's like some hidden troubles, no. At this point, not from what I'm seeing on the balance sheet, not from what I'm seeing from the numbers. You know, and the story and the narratives that are being put out there are merely there for clickbait, so that they can monetize you, and they can do exactly what it is that they are chastising Cloud Imperium for. They're hypocrites. I mean, what they're accusing Cloud Imperium of is exactly what they're doing on their own channels, trying to monetize people by giving them the newest clickbait, skies falling, Chicken Little argument, which is ridiculous. It's craziness.
Was caught off guard. Last but not least, we have the PvA players, who enjoy both playstyles, and it's precisely because the Star Citizen community is so diverse that it becomes almost impossible for Cloud Imperium games to satisfy everyone at the same time. Create an event that leads into PvP dominance, like Align and Mine, and PvE players will complain that CIG isn't taking their playstyle into account. Then design a cargo hauling event where players must transport goods from point A to B, and some other group will feel left out. Even when an activity focuses on cooperation and exploration, there will always be players who see it as an opportunity to ambush others at bottlenecks. It sometimes feels like whatever CIG does, they can't win, and at the heart of all of this, I believe, lies one thing: boredom. These events are punctual.
I think what the real answer to that is the fact that there's so many people that you can't please all the people all the time. You just can't do it. I think what's really happening is it's so successful that there's so many people out there that are going to have a problem. If they sell the blades, then everybody gets pissed off, and then everybody gets pissed off when you can't buy what when you can't buy one of the Atlas on the pledge store. It's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. You know what that really means? What that translates into is that they're super successful because there's so many fucking people that get angry. There's plenty of people that get happy about one thing and mad about another. There's plenty of people. This problem is because of the amount of people in the population of the game. You're not going to please everybody all the time. It's just not the way that it works here. I mean, let's get into the real world. I mean, if you're telling me that you're bored right now playing Star Citizen, I'm telling you, you're probably not playing Star Citizen. No offense. Like or maybe just switch to another title. I mean, like here's my thing. If you are bored playing Star Citizen, then what the fuck are you playing Star Citizen for? Play another game. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get this. None of this makes any sense to me. You see what I'm saying? Like if you're telling me like, oh, there's nothing to do, maybe you did everything that there is to do in the game. Okay. Maybe you've done everything that there is to do in the game like 10 million times, but you know what's still left? The sandbox. You can still find something. When we had the Inside Star Citizen review tonight, and I know that'll land as a different highlight on the channel, but for people watching this video and wondering what I'm talking about, go check out the channel, Inside Star Citizen Review. We talked about 4.2.1. We talked about picking a faction, and I said, no, we're going to pick my organization as a faction, and we're going to build a giant monument that goes from the ground and penetrates the atmosphere. And we're going to take all the cargo, and we're going to stack it up till it penetrates the sky, and we're going to name it the Plexus Sexus Monument. A banana fountain idea.
Banana fountain.
Look, I just made content. If you were bored, you're not bored now. You're going to do something that's never happened in Star Citizen. You're going to make history in Star Citizen by creating a giant penis monument that penetrates the atmosphere, and everybody will talk about it for the rest of their lives. I just created content. It's a sandbox. Hi, everyone. It's a sandbox. This is an MMO. This is how you fucking play the game. If you get bored, think of something. Do something. Find something fun. Do something you've never done before. Use your fucking imagination. You goddamn tool. Listen to me. If you're listening to me right now and you're like, oh, I never really thought of that, and oh yeah, maybe that sounds like a really good idea, and or maybe you're like, this guy's an asshole or whatever. If your reaction to what I'm saying right now it goes completely over your head, goodbye, bye, get out, there's the door, go. Get out of here. I don't want to know who you are as a person. You're probably not even a fucking human being. Get the fuck out, you unimaginative bastard or bastardette. Get. Now, if you understand what I'm saying, hi, welcome to DG360. Welcome. It means you have a soul. It means that you're a human being and that you're looking for fun and that you want a good time and you have an imagination. You can think of really cool things to do. That's what a sandbox is. That's what an MMO is for. Like, I just, like, oh my God.
Feel fresh the first time you play them, but once you've done them about
really
10 times, they become
ERAD's like
repetitive
so
and predictable. And this, I think, is where CIG is making a mistake, because most of the best gameplay loops that we've seen in Star Citizen have been organically created by players within the sandbox CIG has given us, like the original Jump Town, for example.
Yes, T-Con, thank you.
CIG needs to...
Thank you, Diva. Where's my Diva button? I love Diva. Diva, did you get home safe? Diva's driving home. I hope you're home safe, Diva. I love Diva.
Let players shape their own adventures and create their own content using the systems and environments already in place. That's when Star Citizen truly shines. It's those unscripted adventures, those unexpected twists that leave the strongest impressions in the community because they are always unique. Some of my best memories in Star Citizen have come from those spontaneous moments, teaming up with the ERAD Club, wondering what we might do, choosing something like mining or salvaging cargo from a soft-dev bounty target, only to get ambushed by another group just as we were heading to sell the loot. CIG didn't create a mission for this.
Thank you. See this? Now here we go. This is peak ERAD. This is my friend ERAD. This is exactly what he's talking about is what I'm talking about. This is my friend ERAD. Here he is. Here he is. He's saying the same damn thing I am, man. There's my buddy ERAD. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Imagination. Imagination. I love that Coob says, are we going to get a single mention in this video that SIG intentionally pulled back new feature development this year to fix bugs? Or did I miss that already? Let's hear it for Coob. Coob. Let's hear it for Coob.
Were no special events. It was just a group of players using the sandbox tools at their disposal, running into another group doing exactly the same thing, and that natural collision created something memorable. Unfortunately, that hasn't been the direction the game has taken this year. Instead, CIG seems to be pushing for experiences that resemble traditional game content. Structured, instanced,
It's not all going to be that, though. Listen, ERAD, it's not all going to be that. This is just what they're doing to bring in new blood. They're in the cycle right now. Listen, let me make it very clear to everybody watching right now. They are in a cycle of bringing in fresh blood, fresh revenue stream. That's what they're doing with this. They're successful with this. They're bringing in more people than I've ever seen before. Log into the game. You see people flying around in stations everywhere. I can go to stations out in the middle, BFE. I can go all the way out to BFE, and I see people in a station running around. Have you guys noticed a dramatic increase in player citizen population everywhere that you go? It's because of what they're doing. They're actually busy, right, Fingers? You are going around seeing people everywhere. That's called success. What they're doing is they're bringing in fresh blood. They're bringing in fresh revenue, new revenue that will recycle and be more revenue. And they'll build upon it. And they saw that this worked. So they're doing it again. And they're going to do it again. And they're going to do it again. And they're going to do it again. And you know why? To keep bringing in more revenue. Also, to keep bringing people the things that they want. Some people, they like Hathor. Some people, they don't. Some people like Stormbreaker. Some people, they don't. The security and the level of game design that comes in through security will filter in eventually. It's going to be a long way off. I get it. It'll be frustrating. The PvE, PvP arguments, blah, 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 will eventually dissolve once game design comes in and brings the security that we so desperately need. NPCs will come and shit on people's heads, and that will be the repercussion for shitty actions in lawful space. Notice I said lawful space. In lawless space, anything goes. And if anybody's got a problem with that, go cry in another system that's lawful. You hear what I'm saying? That's the way that it will be structured, but it's going to take a long time for that to happen. In the meantime, they're going to seed all these types of places all around different planets and moons and continue to bring in more people. And notice the player populations are literally at an all-time high. I don't think I've ever seen, put a 1 in chat if you agree with me. Have you ever seen Star Citizen this populated before? Because I don't think I've ever seen a time in which I've seen it so populated. It is populated everywhere you go. There are people. And it feels alive. Right. So, I don't know. To me, that's not boring. You know what was boring? When there wasn't this amount of people playing the game. It felt dead. It felt like every other game out there. It felt dead. Now, it's alive. It's bustling. Tons of people in here. Good. I don't call that boring. I don't call that boring.
Rather than embracing the unpredictable player-driven stories that make Star Citizen stand apart. And for many, that shift doesn't seem to align with what they fell in love with this universe in the first place. Last, I think that the final nail in the coffin of the year of playability is the ongoing cheating crisis. And while I am personally glad that this is happening now and not after version 1.0 comes out, because it gives CIG a chance to build protocols to counter this phenomenon, it's also a factor that discourages players from playing.
Listen, getting shot by Kiosa at Brios was fun. I like that kind of content. Getting shot by Kiosa at Brios was fun. Sure, I wasn't happy with the situation. I wasn't happy the fact that I had too many distractions in the reel and I stood there like a mannequin. I'm very happy that there's no footage of that, Kiosa. Don't even dare put that out. My name is tarnished enough as it is.
One wants to invest
the
time
content
only
I
to
like.
then die out of the blue and unfairly lose inventory
Yes.
gear. And especially, no one enjoys playing a game knowing that there are people out there who are using hacks that could ruin their gameplay in an instant.
Aether, stop.
It's a situation
No.
that CIG needs to resolve as soon as possible, and while they are taking actions, it's still a phenomenon that's happening to this day, and it's tarnishing the reputation of the game. As I said, it's unfortunate, but in my eyes, a necessary evil that may contribute to making the
It was
game
a Cuddy
future-proof.
Black, Diva. I was just
At the
getting
end of
to
the
my
day,
roots, okay?
I still believe in Star
Leave me
Citizen
alone.
and in the vision that Clan Imperial Games is trying to bring to life, but I also think it's important to be honest about where things stand. The year of playability was meant to be a time to reinforce the game's foundations, and in some way it is, but for many players it's also become a year of stagnation and disappointment.
I just don't know how. I don't know. I mean, listen, if that's the way you feel, okay. I just don't know how you get that. I completely come from a different perspective. I'm completely coming from a different perspective with this. I'm having a blast. It's more populated than it's ever been. And I like this. It's a level of fun that, I'm very happy with. I tell you, like if you're maybe you played a lot. I get, like, if I'm lucky, I get maybe 5-10 hours to play a week. So, I mean, if you're grinding the shit out of Star Citizen, okay, I get it. I get that. Like if you're playing 20 plus hours a week, right? But even then, like I said before, dudes, it's an MMO, it's a sandbox. Create your own fun, man. Like the giant penis monument we're gonna build. Do something cool. Do something that's never been done before. Make history in the game. Be the fucking imaginative soul that I know you can be. And have fun doing it. Man, it's an entire look at this. It's an entire verse out there with 2 systems. There's a lot out there right now with 2 systems. And I know people go, oh, there's only 2 systems. Dude, the scale's ridiculous with 2 systems. Who agrees with me? Put a 1 if you think 2 systems is a crazy amount of scale right now. I think that's a lot of area. Like what we have right now between Stanton and Pyro, there's a lot of area out there, man. And it's not even being explored or done properly. And the way that you can get it is by raising the goddamn mineral rewards up all around the board. For miners, for the industrial workers, for rock miners on planets, for salvagers. You get those rewards up. You bring up the amount of prices on these things. You will see people get super industrious. And you will have plenty of people in lawless-based systems shooting down other people. Then you'll have people coming in bringing security. They will have the credits to pay somebody, and it will be worth it for them to pay them to escort them. If these gave us a reward that mattered, you could split this up 6 different ways and still make plenty of cash. Like, I don't understand why they just don't do the most obvious thing to help keep people playing this game by giving them bigger rewards so that people can pay people out. Because you know what happens when the rewards increase, you'll get more industrial players coming out here doing the work that needs to get done out here in the belts, down on the planets and moons. They will be mining in tonnage. There will be so many citizens mining and doing industrial based work that pirates will come in and say, okay. And you make sure not to take that pirate gameplay away from those pirates. And they will come in. And then you'll have the next event happen where people bitch. Oh, I'm getting griefed. Right? Well, if the rewards are high, then they can pay people to protect them, to escort them. And the game becomes much more multifaceted, more crew, more people. And listen, if that's not your style and you don't want to have to deal with people, and you want to do your solo space dad thing, totally get it. And there's plenty of area to do that in. It's like, I don't understand people that have this argument that say like, oh, I'm getting griefed. And like, they think it like it's a 24/7 thing that happens in Star Citizen. Even with the amount of population that there's in Star Citizen, you can still go places and for hours not see anybody. You can still go to remote places and do industrial work and not be bothered by anybody. If you're smart about it and you got a brain, I mean, right? Am I crazy? You can go to a lot of different places for days even and not have to worry about it. If you play the game long enough, you kind of know where to go when you're not going to be bothered. And on the occasion where you do, I love that. I think that's cool. I like that content. Some people don't. I understand. I get it.
So, I'd like to hear from you. How are you feeling about Star Citizen in 2025? Are you still logging in and enjoying your time, or are you taking a step back and waiting for things to improve? Are these concerns valid in your eyes, or do you see them differently? Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed this video or found it useful, please consider leaving a like. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the upcoming content, and I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers. Thank you so much for watching. A premium video like this one takes a lot of time and effort to record and edit.
I love him. Go to my friend ERAD's channel. Let me promote him here. He deserves it, man. He is an awesome dude. ERAD, keep being yourself, my dude. He's one of my best friends here on the internet. And this guy is the genuine, real deal here. And I love him. I do.